British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is lifting the last government corona rules in England as part of his plan for living with COVID. Above all, this meant that from February 24th, people will no longer have to isolate themselves after a positive corona test. The government is relying on infected people to behave like people with a cold on their own responsibility, said Johnson. Let's learn to live with this virus and continue to protect ourselves and others without restricting our freedoms. Johnson's Conservative Party enthusiastically received the announcement. Experts and the opposition, however, criticized the project as poorly thought out. The announcement was also overshadowed by Queen Elizabeth II's corona infection. The Prime Minister referred to the sharp drop in the number of new infections, deaths and hospitalizations as justification. This is thanks to the successful vaccination campaign, he says. The peak of the Omicron wave is also over, said Johnson. He emphasized that the end of the corona rules would relieve the economy. From April 1st, there will also be no more free tests. The government spent around £15.7 billion on this, said Johnson. This money can now be used for other projects. Rather, it is time to regain self-confidence. Previously, Johnson had already lifted almost all corona rules, such as the mask requirement or distance rules. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland decide independently on their actions and often take a slightly more cautious approach than England, which does not have its own regional government. Tory hardliners have been calling for an end to the corona rules for weeks. The opposition called the plans half-baked and accused Johnson of wanting to get opponents within the party back on his side with the announcement. The Prime Minister is trying to declare victory before the war is over, said Labour health politician Wes Streeting. Johnson wanted to distract from the police investigation into the Partygate affair. The 57-year-old is also being asked to resign by politicians from his own ranks because of the scandal surrounding lockdown parties in Downing Street. The Prime Minister emphasized that the pandemic is not over yet and that new virus variants cannot be ruled out. Therefore, older and particularly vulnerable people should continue to be protected. Health Minister Sajid Javid announced another vaccination, and he called it, I guess, a spring booster for the 75-year-olds, residents of old people's homes and over 12-year-olds with immune deficiencies. Johnson's plans to do all this also met with criticism from experts. I don't think that's a good idea, said the Dr. Azim Majid from Imperial College London to the German press agency. But if people remain sensible and continue to isolate themselves when they have symptoms, the impact will be manageable for now. The public health expert is more concerned about next autumn and winter, when not only will viruses have their high season, but also the immunity of many people will decrease due to vaccinations or previous infections, and the infected will then circulate freely, as he puts it. A group of scientists who also work for the SAGE advisory body warned that the end of mandatory isolation and free available rapid tests could lead to a return to rapid epidemic growth. The modelers said that infections could increase by 25 to 80%. According to the modeling calculated at the University of Warwick, measures such as isolation, testing and wearing masks, as well as increased work from home, help to reduce the risk of infection by 20 to 45%. Maybe you were wondering why the videos look a bit different today, probably from the quality of the video, and why they are different today because of length and the morning news are not there. But in this case, I could need for change your help. OBS is not working anymore. I'm always using my iPhone to film those videos, and since the updates, there is no iOS camera anymore on that thing, and I have to figure that one out, so that I only could do some very quick videos here today and have to work out how I get the system running again. Otherwise, I can't use that microphone anymore, and I'm quite sure that you like the audio I had in the last several months compared to my early videos. And so I have to work on that one. Until then, I have to improvise a little bit until I find out what's happening, or if I can get that fixed, or to find a different way. So the standard will come back very soon, I hope, but until then it will be a bit shorter. I hope you have understanding for that and will still support my channel and watch. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.